Natural capital is the world's stock of natural resources, which includes geology, soils, air, water, and all living organisms. Some natural capital assets provide people with free goods and services, often called ecosystem services. All of these underpin our economy and society, and thus make human life possible. Natural capital is an extension of the economic notion of capital, resources which enable the production of more resources, to goods and services provided by the natural environment. For example, a well-maintained forest or river may provide an indefinitely sustainable flow of new trees or fish, whereas overuse of those resources may lead to a permanent decline in timber availability or fish stocks. Natural capital also provides people with essential services, like water catchment, erosion control and crop pollination by insects, which in turn ensure the long-term viability of other natural resources. Since the continuous supply of services from the available natural capital assets is dependent upon a healthy, functioning environment, the structure and diversity of habitats and ecosystems are important components of natural capital. Natural capital is essential to the sustainability of the economy and human well-being. However, natural capital is often undervalued or ignored in conventional economic analysis and decision-making. This leads to the depletion and degradation of natural capital assets and the loss of ecosystem services that they provide. To address this challenge, Natural Capital Accounting, NCA, is a tool that can help measure and value the economic contribution of natural capital to human well-being and development. NCA can also help monitor the impacts of economic activities on natural capital and inform policies and actions that can enhance natural capital management and conservation. One way to measure the economic value of nature's benefits to people is to use the concept of natural capital and how it measures the economic value of nature's benefits to people. This concept is based on the idea that natural capital produces goods and services that are essential for life and well-being, such as food, water, climate regulation, recreation, and cultural values. These goods and services are often called ecosystem services. By estimating the monetary value of ecosystem services, we can compare them with other forms of capital, such as manufactured or human capital, and assess their contribution to economic output and welfare. We can also evaluate how different scenarios or policies affect the flow of ecosystem services over time and space, and identify trade-offs and synergies among different uses of natural capital. For example, a park may provide multiple ecosystem services, such as carbon sequestration, air quality improvement, water regulation, recreation, and tourism. By estimating the monetary value of these services, we can assess how much a park is worth to society and how its value may change under different management options or threats. This can help us make informed decisions about how to allocate resources for park conservation and restoration, as well as how to balance competing demands for land use and development. One of the case studies that illustrates how much a park is worth is the Hesketh Marsh in Lancashire, UK. This is a salt marsh that was restored from farmland by the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, RSPB, in 2008. Salt marshes are coastal wetlands that are flooded and drained by salt water brought in by the tides. They provide many ecosystem services, such as habitat for wildlife, protection from erosion and flooding, and carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is the process of capturing and storing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which helps to mitigate climate change. Researchers from the University of Cambridge and other institutions used a tool called TESSA, Toolkit for Ecosystem Service Site-Based Assessment, to compare the value of Hesketh Marsh as a salt marsh versus as farmland. They found that the salt marsh was worth more than $2,000 per hectare per year in carbon storage alone, which was greater than any money that could be made from growing crops or grazing animals on it. The salt marsh also had other benefits, such as supporting biodiversity, enhancing water quality, and providing recreational opportunities for visitors. The researchers estimated that the total value of the salt marsh was about $3,500 per hectare per year, while the farmland was worth only about $1,000 per hectare per year. This case study shows that restoring natural habitats can have economic benefits that outweigh those of exploiting them for human use. It also demonstrates that parks are not only good for nature, but also for people and the planet.